Do you know that the cost of starting a business in Rwanda is free? Yes, it's free. There are no administrative costs to starting a business in Rwanda, according to the 2020 World Bank Ease of Doing Business report. So stick around, let's unpack that. Hello everyone and welcome to another video. My name is Nikki Verd. I am the author of the best-selling book, Disrupt Yourself or Be Disrupted. And today I wanted to talk about the ease of doing business in Rwanda.
Rwanda has all it takes to start your business. First of all, it's a peaceful country. Also, the economy is a growing one compared to where I'm coming from.
According to World Bank data, Rwanda remains the second easiest place to do business in Africa. Rwanda continues to make bold and ambitious steps to improve their business environment and further their vision of a private sector-led economic transformation. And before we get into the video, please take a quick moment to like my video. It helps my channel and helps other people discover this knowledge I am sharing. And if you are new, please hit the subscribe button below as well. And ring the bell so that you'll be notified. Just about anywhere else in the world, setting up shop requires money. Money for administrative expenses and other costs to pay before you can legally have a business on paper. These administrative costs differ from country to country. The UAE, for example, is the world's most expensive country to start a business, while Equatorial Guinea is the most expensive African country to start a business, according to that report. But there are no administrative costs to starting a business in Rwanda, according to the 2020 World Bank Ease of Doing Business report.
Government will continue to do its part to promote innovation by guaranteeing a conducive business and regulatory climate. In the latest World Bank Doing Business report, which was released only today, Rwanda is now ranked as the 29th most business-friendly country in the world. Up from 41st last year. From 41, we came down all the way to 29 in just 1 year. So things are happening and we should work even harder and smarter and move faster.
And this is what makes Rwanda an attractive investment and business destination. Okay, I can hear some people wondering, but how is that achievable? What are we missing? Well, that was also my thinking when I first saw the report. And so I did some research. And I will start by pointing out that there are a number of regulatory and administrative fees, including permits, licenses you need to obtain when starting a business, depending on the industry you are operating in. But Rwanda has eliminated most of these costs. And in situations where cost is necessary, it is very, very minimal. The first thing you need to know is that Rwanda has the world's best business reforms and the most business-friendly regulations in Africa. An important question to answer is why Rwanda makes it so simple and free to start a business. Well, I believe the Rwandan government understands that every country is built by entrepreneurs, not politicians. And so they are simply doing what any good government should do, which is to create a conducive environment for businesses and entrepreneurs to thrive, by putting good policies in place and eliminating unnecessary cost and red tape, as this encourages young people to get into business as well as attract foreign investors. It is no secret that young people avoid getting into business in countries or environment where there is so much barrier to entry and so much red tape and bureaucracy.
The discussion all about with the young people is about transforming Africa. As we've been discussing, we want to see the young people, even themselves already, we can see the commitment from them, that the development of Africa will not wait for anyone else but them. This means more ownership than ever before. And this is the right time for them to act, especially when our leadership from the African Union, recently in Kigali, they signed the Continental Free Trade Area. And the reason of the topic, even the theme of discussion, is to see how the young people takes advantage of the Continental Free Trade Area, all these regulations that they are putting in place, all these laws that are enabling countries to increase more intra-trade within African countries, to make it easy to trade and cross-border and do business with each other. And looking beyond the boundaries that were created during colonial time, that could remain as a geographical boundaries, but you want really something that is going to be seamless and smooth transaction between the young people in one country in another country.
The cost of starting a company in some countries is very high, but it's free in Rwanda. And many of the processes can be done entirely online. But the interesting part also is that there are African countries on the same map showing the cost of starting a business ranging from $100 to about $1,000 and above, and that is just regulatory and administrative stuff. The most expensive African country in absolute terms of starting a business is the small country of Equatorial Guinea at the whopping cost of $2,322. That's what's called a real barrier to entry. This alone indicates the challenge young people or young entrepreneurs and small business development in Africa face every time.
A curator, an artist, an innovator, and together we can transform Africa. I said we can transform Africa.
And so, the contrast between Rwanda and other African countries is very impressive in terms of business creation. The Rwandan Development Board and the UREMBO platform play a major role in this ecosystem on the report. Setting up shop doesn't come cheap, of course. Anywhere else in the world, like I already mentioned, an up-and-coming business person, will jump through different series of administrative hoops to acquire the proper approval, permits, licenses, and all of these things cost money as well as time. But in Rwanda, it's free. And it takes less than a day to actually register your business. The idea that it's free to start a business in Rwanda is only in terms of setting up shop. Let me clarify that. It doesn't mean that you don't need capital, because you do. No one can really run a business without capital, can you? It might be free to start a business, but you definitely need capital to take it off the ground and keep it running. It's like, getting a free house, but you need to buy furniture, I guess. Or maybe getting a free microwave, but you need to buy like that ring, that plate inside, I guess. I don't know if my analogy makes sense, but yeah, you need capital to run your business, even though it's free, to get it registered and set up. In other African countries, it might not cost a lot of money to register a business, but the process of registering the business in some African countries can take months because of too much red tape, and regulations. This really needs to change because it discourages investors and the spirit of entrepreneurship in Africa, especially among young people. I think other countries can learn a thing or two, from Rwanda in terms of business reforms and regulations and the ease of, getting things started and running and going. Yes, in Rwanda, registering a business or a company is free and can be done in just a couple of hours when you have all your documentations and requirements ready. You will get a certificate of registration and incorporation instantly, and all is done online. This process involves simultaneously obtaining the certificate of incorporation, your tax identification number, and your social security registration for your employees' pension submission. Like I said, everything can be acquired on the same day.
Any foreign investor going into a new country obviously has to pay a lot of attention to the registration requirements that are imposed by the government of that country, and Rwanda is no different. But I would mention, though, that the government of Rwanda has made big investments in making the process of business registration very simple. And provided you are aware of the documentation and the paperwork that you need to put in place, you are able to register a business in 1 or 2 days. And so that aspect of registration is very simple.
In Rwanda, you don't pay corporate income taxes or pay for the operating license, commonly referred to as ipatante, for 2 years. But you pay cleaning fees to the local government district. These fees vary depending where your business is located. In Kigali, for example, it's about $10 per month, even for new businesses, which amounts to a total of about $120 per year for the cleaning fees. And to me, the cost shouldn't really be the point of focus here. What matters the most is that the government is making it easier for businesses to be created and operated within the country, which makes it a very attractive business, destination for investors and both young people within the country and outside the country to get in and start businesses. Of course, nothing is perfect. You may still face some challenges here and there, but that doesn't discount the fact that Rwanda is an attractive investment and business destination. And for those who might be asking if residency is a prerequisite, yes, it is. If you are not a citizen of Rwanda or have residency in Rwanda, you will need to have a local person, you will need to have a local person on the registration as your director or something like that. And to put it simply, you need someone who is a citizen or a resident in Rwanda. When it comes to business and investment, Rwanda is a country that investors and business people regard as being satisfactorily free of petty corruption. And this is a future that makes Rwanda stands out in sub-Saharan Africa. Rwanda also enjoys low levels of crime, disturbances of peace. In other words, the country has political stability, which makes it even more attractive for businesses to get in. It is the only country in sub-Saharan Africa that foreigners can have a possibility of acquiring government stakes in banks, insurance, telecommunications, and all that. Rwanda is also one of the top countries that offers investment incentives to foreigners. His Excellency Paul Kagame is intentional about making Rwanda the beacon of hope for Africa. And whether you hate him or you like him, the results speaks for itself. Rwanda is definitely on her way to becoming the Singapore of Africa. Rwanda has steadily climbed and maintained high-ranking positions across different platforms globally for some years now, and they keep rising. A country with a dark history, yet is becoming the beacon of hope for many. Rwanda is showing us what's possible when you refuse to give up in spite of adversity. So, have you been to Rwanda? Have you had any experience in starting a business in Rwanda? Do you agree or disagree with the report or about the rankings? I would love to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. And remember to check out my best-selling book, Disrupt Yourself or Be Disrupted. It's available on Amazon and on my website. I'll share the links in the description below. Thank you for watching and see you in my next video.